When you retire, it's time to have the talk. What's the talk? The talk is we may have some health challenges at some point, and we need to think about what happens when these come about. Long-term care is a topic that you may want to avoid. It can be hard to face the prospect that your health will decline and you need extra help in your daily life. Before we get into the details of it though, what does long-term care even mean? The term covers a wide range of services. It can mean informal, at-home support provided by family or friends for your daily activities, such as eating and bathing. But for today's conversation, long-term care means paid services, both medical and non-medical. These services are usually done by nurses, home health aides, or therapists. They can take place at your home or at another facility. They may involve help with everyday tasks, but can also include things such as physical therapy, giving medications, or assisting with your medical equipment. If you're 65 in the US today, the odds that you will need long-term care at some point are 70%. That's more than 2 out of 3 persons. On average, women need care longer than men. 3.7 years for women compared to 2.2 years for men. So one reason to think about long-term care is that most of us will need it. Acknowledging that is a first step. So what's your next step? Let's talk about it. A 2023 survey of people 50 and older in the US revealed that fewer than half had ever had a serious conversation about the need for care as they age. Equally low numbers had set aside money for long-term care, and even fewer respondents said they'd sought out information on their options. The fact is, many of us never talk about long-term care until faced with a real-life urgent event. By the time that event comes, decisions may need to be made fast. You could end up in a care situation that wouldn't be your first choice, or even your second or third. Once you accept the likelihood of long-term care, again, that's 70% of you over age 65, and talk about it with your family, you can move on to planning. To make a plan, we need to gather information on costs. That will help you determine how you plan to pay for it. To get an idea of the price of long-term care, take a look at this website from the insurance company Genworth. It offers estimated prices for different levels of care throughout the country. As an example, let's take Pittsburgh, near where I live. Again, keep in mind that these are median estimates and actual prices will vary. As you can see, in 2025 in Pittsburgh, the monthly cost for a home health aide is almost $7,300 or $88,000 per year. A private bedroom at an assisted living facility is roughly $6,200 a month. Now, look at nursing home care. The median price of a semi-private room in Pittsburgh is around $11,400 per month, or upwards of $136,000 annually, while a private room is roughly $12,300 a month, or nearly $150,000 per year. You can also adjust the criteria on the Genworth site to project future changes in price. One thing we can be sure of is no matter what type of care we need, the price tag will likely be quite a bit higher in the future. Let's gaze into the future to the year 2035. Assuming annual inflation of 3%, here are the estimated costs. 10 years from now, you can expect prices of long-term care to jump by 35% compared to this year. Again, these are estimates. The upshot is that, aside from the fortunate few who can easily afford it, the cost of long-term care is nothing to scoff at, especially if both you and your spouse will need it. Now that we have an idea of the cost of long-term care, how do we pay for it? There are several possibilities. Going into each option in detail would take more time than we have. But let's discuss various options briefly to give you an idea of what's out there. Medicare. First, can we dispel a common misconception? Medicare does not pay for non-medical long-term care. You cannot depend on that program for long-term financial support in your later years. Medicaid. Medicaid will pay for long-term care, but it will do so only after you exhaust most or all of your resources. Think of it as an insurer of last resort. Also, not all assisted living facilities accept Medicaid, so your care options will be more limited. Self-funding. If you have the assets, funding long-term care yourself is worth considering. Paying out of pocket may expand the care options available to you. It can also spare you the hassle of managing paperwork with an insurer. This approach won't work for everyone. A financial advisor can help figure out what's feasible for you. Then there's long-term care insurance. Several companies offer policies. There are generally three main options to consider. A standalone or traditional policy covers specifically long-term care services. Covered services often include daily activities such as eating, bathing, and dressing. They also include stays and services in nursing homes and assisted living communities, as well as tasks performed at your home. A long-term care rider is a kind of supplement that can be added to an insurance policy you already have, typically life insurance. This is also known as a hybrid policy. For example, let's say you have a life insurance policy and are trying to figure out how you can have some coverage for long-term care. Some life insurance policies offer the option to add a long-term care rider. This means that if a long-term care event arose, you may use the policy for long-term care expenses. But if it didn't, the policy could still have a life insurance death benefit. Linked benefit long-term care insurance is the third option. This is another kind of hybrid insurance. It's designed to pay for long-term care services like a traditional policy. If you don't use all your benefits to pay for long-term care, the remainder is paid out to your beneficiaries after your passing. There are also other potential strategies to help cover long-term care costs that we haven't discussed today, from VA benefits to annuities to state partnership programs. The key is knowing that you have options, and understanding them can make all the difference. I know this may be a lot to take in, but you don't need to go it alone. It's important to stay up to date as the marketplace and policy offerings change. Let me give you an example. One investor I spoke with said his mother's long-term care policy required receipts for every charge. This became a disaster when his mother developed memory issues. Now, many policies require confirmation from a doctor that care is needed, and then simply pay an amount into the bank account each month. But it's just as crucial to talk with an advisor or insurance professional before purchasing a policy. The role of your financial advisor is to break down what makes sense for you and help maximize savings for yourself and for your loved ones. Let's quickly recap what we discussed today. Number 1, acknowledge the likelihood of long-term care. 7 out of 10 of us will need it. Number 2, talk about long-term care before you actually need it. You'll want to be part of the decisions to reduce stress and uncertainty for loved ones and for your own sake. Number 3, inform yourself about costs. The better you understand the financial requirements of long-term care, the better you can plan for it. Resources to estimate future costs are available. Number 4, review your options. There are a number of ways to pay for long-term care, but you should choose what works for you. Stay informed about available policies and changes in the marketplace, and consult your advisor or insurance professional. Long-term care may not be the most pleasant topic, but not preparing for it won't make it more agreeable. Understanding and preparing for long-term care will help you and your family find a solution and achieve peace of mind. Thanks for watching this episode of Glad You Asked. See you next time.